There is no nice way to put this. Crunchyroll has got to be the worst streaming platform I've ever used, and I am very disappointed. Hi, my name is Bruno, and I've been using Crunchyroll for about 6 months now, and let's say that it's been rough. So, in this video, we're going to take a look at the state of Crunchyroll in 2023 and highlight all the problems I found, ranging from minor inconveniences to completely broken features which should be unacceptable in a paid service. As a disclaimer, I want to make it clear that this reflects my personal experience and that depending on your plan or location, your mileage may vary. Without further ado, let's begin, shall we? At first glance, Crunchyroll's anime offer seems amazing. There's hundreds upon hundreds of anime series to get through. It almost seems too good to be true, and that's because it is. While you do get this absurd amount of content, it's only when you start getting through it that you realize that a lot of it is incomplete. Let's take for instance one of the highly acclaimed animes from last year, Demon Slayer. I've never seen Demon Slayer, and I've seen it advertised here on Crunchyroll, so naturally, I go into it expecting to see it from the beginning. And to my surprise, there's no season 1. And this is a trope that you see on animes that hit mainstream media, which are the ones newcomers to anime will probably want to watch first. Thankfully, One Piece seems to be complete here, but not without its own issues, as we'll see later. Anyways, my point is that the series offer is not as great as it seems, but on the other hand, the movie offer is just baffling. There is literally 3 movies available at the time of writing. Region locks aren't uncommon in streaming services, and it often means that some shows are available only in certain regions. However, this is not the problem here. My issue with Crunchyroll is that it extends that region lock to the language of the subtitles. As a Portuguese person living in Portugal, I only have access to Portuguese subtitles, and you might ask, well, why is that a problem? The problem is that the Portuguese subtitles that are region-locked for Portugal are written in Brazilian Portuguese, and any Portuguese person knows how vastly different these are, not only in vocabulary but also in syntax. To make matters even worse, this region lock is not tied to your account's location. It is instead determined by your current geographical location, which is probably one of the worst design choices I've ever seen. I found this out the hard way when I was on the flight back to Portugal from Italy. I had been there on vacation and downloaded some episodes to watch on the way back, but since the download took place in Italy, the only subtitles I had access to were in Italian, which I cannot read. This can make the service unusable for anyone who's living abroad, so please, if anyone from Crunchyroll is watching, at least make English subtitles accessible to everyone regardless of location. Thank you. Binge watching has been greatly elevated in the last few years thanks to streaming services. Netflix figured this out a couple years ago, and since then many others followed on its footsteps. They feed you episode after episode with all the clutter conveniently removed, with the skippable intros, outros, and the constant autoplay designed to make our monkey brains take in all the information with near zero effort. This is a tried and tested formula that should be easy to replicate. Unfortunately, Crunchyroll slacked off on this front as the platform itself is poorly optimized for binging. As an example, I am watching One Piece at the moment, and while I do have a button for skipping the intro, it only skips the opening, not the recap. It is a bit jarring to me that some of the free but questionably moral websites do this perfectly, but somehow, a premium service that I paid for cannot. Let's keep talking about One Piece, not only because it's a great show, but also because it's pretty messed up on Crunchyroll. For some unknown reason, after Skype, the openings on Crunchyroll do not match the actual show's openings, having different episode runtimes and outright removing others. As an example, on Crunchyroll Opening 7, the Straw Hats version of We Are, which is canonically only used for 5 special episodes, is aired throughout the second part of the Enies Lobby arc, which in turn means that we never get to hear Opening 8, Crazy Rainbow, and we go straight to Opening 9, Jungle P. How did this happen? Oh, and bonus flaw, Crunchyroll randomly reverts my watching history to episode 1 when switching from phone to desktop. Go figure. This one pôs-me na hora do caralho. And was the catalyst for me wanting to make this video. Crunchyroll has several subscription plans with different features. I have limited mobile bandwidth, so I chose the Mega Fan plan, which has the offline watching feature so that I can watch an episode while running on the treadmill at the gym. This is a great feature to have, if it works. In theory, it is pretty straightforward. You open an episode, click on the download button and wait until it finishes. The check mark indicates which episode you have saved on your device. However, sometimes, and for some unknown reason, the download fails but the check mark is still there. I'm sure this is a bug and it wouldn't be a big deal if not for a small design choice that Crunchyroll has. When you are watching a downloaded episode and it reaches the end of its save data, Crunchyroll seamlessly reverts to default mode and starts using Wi-Fi or mobile data, whichever is available. And this is what happened to me. My bandwidth for the month was practically drained by streaming an episode Crunchyroll told me was already stored on my device. Here's a video of me trying to play an episode which supposedly was successfully stored in my phone while mobile data is turned off. So in conclusion, I am very disappointed with Crunchyroll as a streaming service and I will no longer be using it as soon as my subscription ends. I am really not a fan of making these kinds of videos, but I do feel that they are necessary to warn other people who might go into this with the same expectations. For such a big and renowned company, it is not excusable that we're dealing with these kinds of problems, especially as paying customers. If you just want to be up to speed with the latest anime releases, this probably still has some value to you. For everyone else, look elsewhere, it's really not worth it. Do tell me in the comments what are your streaming service recommendations and how your experience with these services have been. With that being said, thank you for watching and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye bye!